Hey guys, my name is Jason Lanier. I am stuck here at the Seattle-Tacoma airport thanks to Delta once again having mechanical issues. Thank you, Delta. But this is a part of a new segment called Ask Me Anything, and I'm just going to film these. I'm filming this right on my phone. I'm going to film these on the fly and just answer your guys' questions as I go. Now, what I've done is I've posted the Ask Me Anything spot on my Facebook pages, and I'm already getting a ton of responses, so I'm going to read some of the questions and then answer them for you here. If I don't get to your question, it's because there's tons of them, so I'll do the best I can. I'm just going to post this, no editing, no cutting, just take it from my phone and upload it to YouTube, and I'll start doing these around the world as I'm traveling. I'm trying to get to Maui right now, but Delta's making it difficult. So without further ado, let's get started here. I'm just going to read the question. This is a Daniel Castro asks, what is the best setting for sports photography in the A6000? You do autofocus continuous mode. You would do probably a wide focus area. You'd shoot at about 1,000ths of a second. And then your apertures, it depends on your lens, your aperture is going to be in the 4 to 5.6 range. Depending on the lens, some go to 6.3. And then ISO is going to depend on your lighting, so I can't answer what the ISO would be. Traditionally, it'll be in the 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 range, whatever that might be, 3,200. But that's going to apply to most any type of camera, not just the Sonys. But that's what I shoot with it when I do the NFL games and such. Joe Criv asks, "What's the meaning of life?" I don't know. I do know one part of the meaning of life for me is to become a better photographer, and if I can help you guys do that, I'm happy to do so. Somebody asked, what is the David Gonzalez, what is the best price-wise budget A6000 high-speed sync third-party equipment to be able to use reliably? The only one that I'm aware of right now would be the Flashpoint Rove Light RL600B with the Pixel Kings high-speed sync triggers. I have a video out on it that has more specific information, but that's the best that I have. And the A6000 will do 1/4000th of a second high-speed sync, unlike the A7s that'll do 1/8000th of a second, so that does make a difference. And then the other cameras will do 1/8000th of a second as well. Vincent Castillo asks, what is your go-to setup? What would your setup be to go for a portrait shoot? That's tough. It's actually not. It'd be the A7R2 because of the high resolution, the great detail, and it would be the Zeiss Batis and the 35mm FE Zeiss f1.4. That would be my setup for portraits. Kenan, what lens coupler do you recommend for the A6000 for Nikon lenses that you know of or that is going to come out with autofocus and metering? I've only used the photodiox manual adapter for Sony's for Nikon lenses, and it works great, but it's just a manual adapter. It doesn't do anything special. They have a new ComLight one coming out that's supposed to do autofocus. I wouldn't get your hopes up too high on that. I'm trying to get my hands on one so I can test it out. If it's great, I'll tell you guys. But see, the difference is Nikon lenses are mostly mechanically driven, a lot like the Sony A-mount lenses. So unless they're electronically driven, you're not going to get that autofocus performance that you get out of the Canon lenses that are 2006 or newer, because those are all electronically driven. So the Canon lenses, that's why Metabones has figured some cool stuff out that will allow you to do some pretty awesome stuff with the Canon Metabones and the Sony cameras. What drew you to creating a YouTube channel and sharing what you do with everyone around the world? Ian Head asked me that. Well, it's pretty simple. I wanted people to see my work, and I wanted to be able to share with people. You know, we live in an age where there's 2 trillion photographers, so if you want to get seen, you have to be seen. You have to, you know, it doesn't matter how good you are if nobody knows it. Just keep that in mind, guys. So when you're doing these things, make sure that you're communicating to the rest of the world if that's what you want. And I think if you're trying to do photography as a living, of course you're trying to get your work out there, and YouTube was by far the best medium because Facebook and their algorithms pretty much kill sharing on Facebook, except for the groups. The groups are pretty cool, so you can join my group, which is www.facebook.com/groups/Jason Lanier Workshops. We have tons of stuff in there, and that's where I answer a lot of questions as well. But that's why I use YouTube, and I absolutely love it because I can reach people around the world, and people around the world know who I am because of YouTube. So it's pretty awesome. What is currently in your camera bag? Oh my gosh. Scott Phillips asked me that. Currently, right now, in my camera bag at the airport that my wife is sitting with is the A7S2, A7R2, 2 A7 IIs, RX1R, RX10 II, 90mm macro, 35mm Zeiss 1.4, 24mm f2 A mount with the LAE-A3 adapter, the 55mm Zeiss, the Batis, and then a few lenses I can't tell you about because it's top secret, coming out soon. What do you like photographing more, models or abandoned buildings or something else? Both. David Spector asked me that. I can't choose between those two, but I like both. It's definitely fun stuff. Abandoned models, Chris Tybalt asked me. No, I don't want to shoot abandoned models, but models in abandoned buildings, yeah, that's pretty freaking awesome. Johnny Guerrero asking for metering of the sky. Just got exposed for the bright part of the sky. And if you really want to learn how to do your skies, come to my workshops, guys. It's www.jasonlanier.com/workshops, and I'll teach you how to get rockin' skies. How do you define creativity? Something that's original and unique, something that you're not ripping off of somebody else, and something that really came from inside of you. Whether it's good or bad, as long as it's coming from inside of you and it's something that you're creating and putting out to the world, then you may not be super creative. I may not be super creative, but if you're doing something that you're projecting and sending out to the rest of the world, but it really came from inside of you and it was a part of you, that's creativity. What is your favorite thing to photograph when you're not working? I'd have to say wildlife and landscapes. I haven't done nearly as many sunrises as I used to do, only because I've been working so hard, and I'm not complaining about that. I'm very blessed. But I think that would be it. That was Deborah Lynn Madigan Reynolds who asked me that. And the creativity question was by Shakira Washington. Trying to get to all these guys. Travis Singleton, I see you use the Neos, the Rotolite Neos in low or no light conditions. But what about full daylight? Can I replace speed lights altogether with Rotolites? No. Rotolite is a sponsor of mine. I love my Rotolites, but they do not replace flash. I pretty much bring out the Rotolites. You can bring them out in the full daylight, but you got to have them about this close to your subject. So if you are into alternative or artificial lighting, you need both LED lights with the Rotolites. If you go to rotolite.com and use a promo code JasonLanier10, you can get 10% off and free shipping if you want. And then you use off-camera flash. On-camera flash isn't the most flattering, so if you're going to use artificial light, it's either going to be LED lighting or it's going to be whatchamacallit, it's going to be artificial. It's going to be speed lights. Or I don't really use speed lights. I use either monolights or strobes, like the Interfit Strobe E360 or the Flashpoint RL600B. I use those for off-camera flash. I don't use speed lights because they're just not nearly as powerful enough, and the recycle time isn't so good. Do the Photic triggers work 100%? This is from Josh Hartwig, and the Interfit triggers, the same question. Photic triggers, I gotta say, they do work. They're very reliable. I'm just not too keen on Photics because they started making all this cool Sony stuff and then just stopped. They just stopped producing stuff. So either they lost their patents, they lost their manufacturing warehouse, whatever it is, but that's pretty messed up to do to the industry, just to start something and just to say, oops a daisy, we're not gonna do it anymore. And it's not because there's not demand, there's a ton of demand out there for it. Interfit, they're the most reliable triggers that I've ever used. Now, I've never used ProPhoto. I'm sure ProPhoto is great. I've never used it, but of the ones that I've used, Interfit's the most reliable. I'm sure there's something else that's great out there, and Interfit is also one of my sponsors. I want to make that very clear. I'm very transparent. What is your main setup for weddings, and what would be a budget setup? From Peter George. I guess if I don't do nearly as many weddings as I used to, but the A7R2 is an awesome wedding camera, but it is a lot in the megapixel department. So, A7 II is an awesome wedding camera. It has 5-axis image stabilization. If I shot Nikon, I'd probably shoot the D750. If I shot Canon, no freaking idea. Probably the 5D Mark III would be my guess. But and then lens-wise, I would use wide, I'd have a 16 to 35. I'd have a macro lens. You need a macro lens as a photographer, a wedding photographer, and then I would have a zoom, so I'd have a 70 to 200. So those would be my 3 have-to-have lenses, and then I would add on top of that. A lot of photographers, such as myself, when you really get into the better lenses, you move into primes and you don't shoot the zooms as much. So it's a good problem to have. Daniel Consuegra. Hey bud, this question is geared towards when does Jason Lanier take family vacation away from photography for like a week or more? Well, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to Hawaii and we are going for 7 days. And then I said to my wife, hey, if you want to stick around 2 more days at the hotel pool and I'll go teach a workshop, we'll do it for 9 instead of 7. So that's what we're doing. So this is exactly that, it's family vacation. Tim Smith asked, Jason, which focused area do you use most of the time, center focus or what? I don't use center focus. When I used DSLRs, I would use selective spot. Flexible spot, I would choose where I was going to focus. That's what a lot of DSLR users use. That's what I would recommend if you're shooting a DSLR. And when I'm on Sony, I shoot a lot of the times with autofocus continuous or dynamic manual focus, DMF mode. And I do that because it shows you the focus peaking in autofocus, which is awesome. But the other reason I do that in Sony and I don't use the flexible spot is the flexible spot isn't as quick in Sony cameras as it is on DSLRs. But that's not the real reason I don't use it. The real reason is because Sony has the facial recognition. It'll find people's faces even if you don't register them, and it spots their focus right on their face. So it's fantastic. So, that's what I use. Joe, if you were Randy Morse. God, there's so many questions, guys. I love them. I'm trying to keep up. Kevin Pipka, as the years go by and by, what inspires you to keep taking better pictures? You have to be self-inspired. I look at my images and say, am I getting better? If I'm not getting better, then I need to work harder. So that's exactly what I do, and I never rest until I think that I'm actually improving. Randy Morse, if you were to photograph schools, how would you go about the ordering process? I would make them order on SmugMug or Zenfolio or something. I would never manage that order fulfillment process. I'd rather shoot myself in the brain than do that. I would never do that. Joe Cobb asked, notice you've been using the 24 to 240. What do you think of it? I think it's a fantastic lens. When I shot Nikon, I really love their 28 to 300 lens, and this is very comparable quality. Same quality or a little better, but I mean the 28 to 300 is an awesome lens by Nikon too. So that is exactly what I would use. I mean, that's what I think of the lens. I think it's fantastic. Has image stabilization, and when you put it on an APS-C sensor or go into APS-C mode on your camera, like on your Sonys, then you're shooting at 36 to 360. So it's pretty awesome. Doel Woods, how do you dominate your market? You be better than everyone else, and you find a way to market yourself. With a low budget, what is the best lens to get on the A6000 and other Sony full-frame Sonys? Don't buy crappy lenses. You'll pay for it. Your shots will not be very good. There are people who win awards. I've received recognition for shots with kit lenses, but guys, I want to be straight with you. If you want great shots and if you want better shots than the competition, you need better lenses. Lenses are more important than bodies, by the way. You can get great shots with a decent body with great lenses, but if you have a great body but decent lenses, good luck. How do you gain access into your city before being a big name? You just kick down the doors. Or you don't, you just, guys, I'm telling you what, you have to be relentless. If you're relentless, it'll show. What is your favorite color? Blue and black. I like to make people black and blue. That's from Greg Voisin. That guy's a friend of mine. Jorge Galvez, tethering for the Sony Alpha cameras, specifically the A6000. Do you use it? Lightroom tethering for Sony cameras blows. Lightroom recently blows in general. The changes they've made to it are atrocious, and they've slowed it down. Stupid Creative Cloud, what a pile of steaming crap. Adobe, seriously. Phase 1 is meant more specifically for, or Capture 1 is meant specifically more for Sony cameras. I've been asked by Phase 1 to see if I can look at it and take a look at it, and I will. I haven't yet. I've been so busy. They asked me 9 months ago, and I'm still trying to get the time to do it. But I will say this is the reason I bring it up. Phase One did send me a copy to use for my presentation at Pinewood Studios in England when I did a presentation for Rotolite, and I did tether using Capture One, and it was awesome. It was awesome. I did tethering with Lightroom at WPPI in March of this year. It sucked. Then I did tethering with Capture One in May of this year at that Rotolite event, and it was awesome. It was great, so I can't rave about that enough. Paul McBride, switching from the D7100 with 35 and 50 primes, should I go with A7 or A6000, mainly portraits and kids playing? I wouldn't do the A7. I would do the A6000 or the A7 II. I wouldn't do the A7. That's an antiquated camera at this point. Tim Sorrells, when was the moment you knew you wanted to be a photographer, and who or what was your inspiration? I knew I wanted to be a photographer when I watched my dad take pictures in the Carlsbad Caverns, and then I saved up all my money, became a photographer, or saved up all my money as a paper boy, and bought my first Nikon, and I still love Nikon. No hate for Nikon, so let's just stop the stupid wars, guys. No hate for Nikon. I love Nikon. How many times do I have to say that? And then I bought my first Nikon, and then I found out it was a great way to take pictures of high school girlfriends and stuff, so that was awesome. And then, you know, I wanted to be a photographer, but then I had to get a normal job, and I went into hotels for 10 years, and you guys have heard, some of you heard the story before, but then I became a photographer when I hit 30 years old, and I haven't looked back. It's been awesome. Who or what was my inspiration? I think my pictures kind of have sometimes they have a Norman Rockwell aspect to them. When I was first growing up in photography world, Jerry Gionis, I really admire Jerry. He's a go-getter, and I do admire Jerry. You know, I don't think I'll ever get him to switch to Sony. I don't think he even knows that I want him to, but I don't want him to. I don't want anyone to switch to Sony. I want you guys to find the right gear that works for you. I really don't care. I just want you guys to find the right gear that works for you. That's all that matters as a photographer. Sherry Pauda, who are your favorite photographers? Well, I just mentioned one. I think Rodney Lowe is a pretty cool landscape photographer. Oh, there you go, I gave you two. Mark Davis, what do you do to enhance your desire or drive to be more creative? I try different things. You know, when I was getting a little tired with weddings a couple years ago, I started adding pinups and different things to my repertoire and my portfolio, and it really rejuvenated me. So if you're bored, do something that you have never done before, and it'll really stretch you creatively, and you'll be better for it. Steve Britton, I'd like to see you go through your decision making on aperture settings for single subject portraits. Well, I'm pretty easy on that. I like shooting wide. I do. I have buddies like Miguel Quiles, who, you know, he's another artisan. He shoots, you know, at f8, and that's what he wants. He wants everything in focus. I want to drive, you know, I want that blur. I want it to look awesome, and his shots are awesome. So it just depends on what you want, but that's what I use. Carol Lanier, my wife. What are you getting your wife for Christmas, and can I have a new car? No comment. This video could be 3 hours long, said Tim Sorrells. Yes, you could. Yes, it could. All right. I am trying to get, there are 1,000,001 questions, guys. I am doing everything I can to get to these. Good grief. All right, see what else I can get. I'll try to go through these. Gordon Court, basic Lightroom development modules and stuff. Guys, I love you, and I share everything that I have with you guys. But if you guys want to learn about how I edit in Lightroom, I'm not going to release any editing videos. If you want to learn my editing, I'll teach you everything there. You have to come to my 4-day boot camp, which is in July in Los Angeles of this year. Go to jasonlanier.com/workshops. That's where you'll learn editing. I have to find some way to keep something so you guys will come to the workshops, or else if I put everything out on the YouTube, you'll never come. So definitely that's what you gotta come. Tom Irwin, tell us your 3 signature shots you slam dunk in every wedding or event. Lenses, settings, lighting, posing, processing. Oh, jeez. I don't know. I think that's different for every... I really try to customize my shoots for every couple. You know, I'll ask my couple, are you romantic, silly, funny, goofy, sexy? Who are you as a couple? I want to capture that. And for every wedding, that's going to be different. You know, I think there's certain things like you want to make sure you get a bride getting ready. You want to make sure you get ring shots. You want to make sure you get those types of things. But I think that'd be a more... I'd have to think about that question more to answer it better for you. Sorry, Tom. Brian Cole, for your fakes, guys, I know you exposed for the highlights, blah, blah, blah. Oh, he's asking me if I Photoshop my lights out of the shots. No, I don't. When I tell you guys I edit my shots in Lightroom, that's the God's honest truth. So I like to edit my shots in Lightroom just for speed's sake. So no, I don't clone stuff out because the clone tool sucks in Lightroom. So it's a lot better in Photoshop. So no, I don't do that. I just make sure. I don't use Neos if I have to project. If I'm going to shoot a wide, I will use off-camera flash. And that's where high-speed sync is so critical. Are video lights something that have stepped up your photography career and separated you from the pack? Absolutely. I remember I went to Mike Cologne's seminar 7 years ago, WPPI. He was touting the Sony video lights. And yes, Mike Cologne's also an artisan. He wasn't. But he's recently become one, and he really impacted my career in that way. So that was pretty cool of Mike. He's another cool guy, and so yeah. Then when I started using the Neos, that was a huge game changer. So the Neos are a big deal, and I think it definitely separates you. And it's an easier way to learn photography is through LED lighting, because you can see where the shadows are going to be, you can see where the shot's going to hit and how the lighting is going to impact your subject before you take the shot. Whereas with flash, you have to do shoot, chimp, shoot, chimp, shoot, chimp. So, and chimping means you're looking down at the camera and looking at the shot after the fact. So that's where I'm at on that. That was asked by Mark Solmona, by the way. Rodel Valdez, do you pre-scout your locations beforehand or just let yourself go with the first area you come to and just find the good light? Great question. When I get to an abandoned building, I'll actually scout the entire thing before I start shooting. I don't even take the gear out of the car because I don't want to get distracted. So I'll definitely scout the location first if I have time, and then I'll go shoot. And I will always choose my location based on the best available lighting. If the location's great but the lighting sucks, I won't shoot it. Stephen Gresham, lottery numbers, they are 5, 24, 28, 32, and 49. I don't even know if that's enough because I never played the lotto, but if those help you and you win $1 million, please send me half of it. Harry Pews, how many batteries do you take with the A7? I have probably 20 of the A7, A6000 batteries. On a normal shoot, I'll go through 3 or 4. So just buy a couple batteries, guys, not a big deal. How long, David, how long have you been rocking a Fedora? Great question. Have you experimented with other hats? Are you planning on hiding a camera under there as they get smaller? Hashtag important questions. That's awesome. I have been sporting, I wore a Fedora back in high school from time to time just because I liked it. And then I didn't wear a Fedora for a while because I went into normal culture, you know, hotels you can't wear a suit and fedora. And then as I got into photography, I wasn't wearing one. And then it actually was on that Camaro video where you see the Camaro on my YouTube channel. You see the Camaro whip by me at 50 miles an hour. That shoot, it was so hot, and we had sunblock, and it was pouring down and coming into my eyes, and it really was a big problem. So I said, I need a hat. This is seriously how it happened. I need a hat. And so, I should wear a baseball cap. And I'm like, no, I want to wear a hat I can wear everywhere, not just, you know, So I was going through the store and I saw Fedora, and it kind of reminded me of what it was like when I used to wear one as a high schooler. And I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do it. And I put it on, it's never been off. And now it is truly what gives me my magical powers. I really firmly believe that Frono's photo, his hair, it's like Samson and Delilah. I think that he gets his superpowers from his hair. And I think I get my superpowers from the Fedora. That's not making fun of Fro, guys. Don't turn this into something it isn't, just having fun. John Neal, ask you anything. Okay, here it goes. How do I step up my game to the next level? I have a full-time job and shoot on the weekends. I shoot mostly family and kids. I want to get into weddings, but I'm having trouble breaking through. Can you help me? Yes, you need to get somebody to mentor you. You need to find a wedding photographer that will put you under their wing and will allow you to shoot with them. That is what you need to do. That is the best thing you can do. And make sure they don't suck. Keith Barnes, hey Jason, love your work. When and where can I see your latest NFL pictures taken with the A6000? Guys, I know you want to see him, and I want to see him. And Gene Lauer, my buddy, the other artisan who helped me get into the NFL game, he was asking me, how are your shots? And I'm like, I have no idea. I've just imported them. I haven't even taken a look at a single shot, which is the truth. So I will get those up as soon as I can. But here I am on my family vacation filming a video, which I don't mind. My wife is texting, having fun. But I'll get them up as soon as I can, guys. I'm gonna take a few more, then I'm gonna have to go. This video is almost our half hour already. What is the best all-purpose zoom lens upgrade from a full kit lens for Sony a6000 with the least amount of distortion and under $1,000? That's an easy, the 24 to 240. That's the best one. Jason, calling for Malaysia. Any tips from how you can take portraits on overcast weather? Yeah, flash. If there's clouds out and lighting. Clouds can be wonderful, and that's how you get some fake skies. So if you get out there and there's clouds, just set up an off-camera flash, fire it, and set your flash for your subject and expose for the clouds, and you'll get some awesome shots. And if you don't know how to do that, come to my workshops, jaceliner.com/workshops. Sign up now, guys. I'm going all around the world in 2016. Jeremy X, whatever happened to those NFL picks? I'm working on them, guys, I promise. I have Major League Baseball picks that I haven't released yet, so I'm trying, guys. G. Michael Worthington, insurance on your equipment. What should I pay? He says, hell, if I'm going to carry $3,000 or $4,000 in a backpack in an abandoned building. If it makes you feel any better, I carry about 25 grand in my backpack in an abandoned building, and I just have a knife with me and mace and threaten to, beat somebody if they harass me. And one of these days I'll probably, no, I won't say that. My wife will get upset. But insurance, I go through State Farm, and I just have a personal, a personal products policy. It's about $50 a month, so, and that covers about 60,000 a year. So I think it's totally worth it. Ben Kuo, can I borrow your magic Fedora to have your powers? No. Patton Warner, what do you think of my work? You need to go post in the Jason Lanier Workshops page, the university page, which is facebook.com/group/Jason Lanier Workshops. That's the only place I give people feedback on their images. Ben Kuo, every time you go to shoot at a location with models, do you check to see if that place needs a permit or shoot first and then worry later? Come on, guys, what do you think? Come on, seriously? No, I don't ask. Kenan, and all the pros, oh, you should do it, whatever, guys. Kenan, what lens coupler do you recommend? Oh, I think I answered that. Yeah, I did. American Yasa, hi Jason, can you explain focus by wire system in Zeiss lenses and its disadvantages and advantages? I can, but not in this. That would be too long. So I will definitely do that in a separate video. Greg Bird, I stay with Greg out in Tassie, so he's a good friend. Question, what is your favorite soda? That's a tie. It's Diet Coke and Diet Mountain Dew. The spot was sponsored by Diet Mountain Dew. Come on, haters. Tell me now that I took money from, and I'm a shill for Diet Mountain Dew. You guys need to get a life. Dizzy Sutherland, hey man, I just want to thank you for all that you do. I sent you a message going into more detail why I say thanks. Oh, well, thank you, Dizzy. I haven't had a chance to look at that, but when I do, I'll get back to you. Alright guys, I think that's all I have time for. I am getting a million questions, but I cannot answer them all. Don't have enough time, and I got to get back before my wife divorces me. Going to Hawaii, I can't get divorced before I go, if you know what I mean. So I got to get back to her, and I got to have a good time of it. But guys, thank you for watching. I hope this has helped. Find the right gear that works for you. Guys, I can't say that enough. I don't care what you shoot with as long as it works best for your needs. The last thing I want is for anyone to use anything that I use and it doesn't work for them. I want you guys to have the best gear that works for you. I just mainly show you guys what I use. So remember that we're all here to pursue our dreams and to make the photography world a better place. And if we can do that, and we can have the time of our lives doing it, then come on, what's better than that? So my workshop schedule is out. Again, it's www.jasonlanier.com/workshops. jasonlanier.com/workshops. There's workshops all over the place. England, Ireland, Tasmania, Australia, Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne. And we're planning trips. We're trying to get to Fedora this year, going to Germany, trying to get over to a bunch of amazing places. We have places all over the United States. We have places in Canada, Vancouver, Niagara Falls, all sorts of places, guys. So it's going to be an awesome year. So make sure to join me at one of my workshops. Join my university page, and I just hope you guys enjoy your lives, and that you have a great time of it, and that you don't let people discourage you. It's a lot easier for people sometimes to tear others down, and it's easy for all of us to fall victim to that. Why do I taunt my haters? Because they're jerks. And I have a way to do it, and it's fun. So I'll always have a little bit of a give and take with them, and and if somebody asks me a serious question, I will debate that with them. But when they just get stupid, then I have a little bit of fun. So until next time, keep shooting, never give up on your dreams. Find the right gear that works for you, and remember, you only have one chance to get it right. Last thing, we're going to be doing these Ask Me Anything questions segments quite a bit if they're popular. I hope they are. So I will. You guys can in the comments for this video, you can ask me questions, and the next time I do one of these videos, I will read your questions and use your username. That should be fun, because the usernames on YouTube are, let's just say, they're pretty ridiculous. But I hope this has helped, guys. So until next time, keep shooting, never give up on your dreams. Find the gear that works for you, and remember, you only have one chance to get it right. Talk to you later. Bye.